Hi, I'm Julie Kemper, and I'm in a Math for Elementary School Teachers class at the University of Oregon. And today we're going to be working in Geometer's Sketchpad, and we're going to explore a function in the Cartesian plane. So the first thing we're going to do is go up to Graph, define coordinate system, and now we have a neat graph to work with. So now we're going to place a point on our x-axis. Notice the line gets red when we get to the x-axis. And now we need to go back to the translation arrow to get the point tool gone. Now notice when I move this point on the x-axis, it stays on the x-axis and doesn't move off. The next thing we want to do is put a measurement with our point on the x-axis. So we're going to go to Measure, Abscissa. And there that did two things. It labeled the point A, and now it shows us its measurement. And notice when we move the point, it gives us a measurement for point A at whatever place on the x-axis it gets moved to. Okay, the next step we're going to do is go up to Number, Calculate. We're going to enter our function here. And I want to place this value into the function. So that's how we do it. Now we're going to -3 and raise it to the power of 2. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is rename these. I'll highlight them, name them one at a time, go to Display, Label Measurement. I'm going to name this one In for input. Notice they both changed to in. That's okay. Now we're going to go back to Display, Label Measurement. We're going to name this one Out for output. Because as many of us know, every function has an input and an output. Okay, now we're going to highlight these in order. First the in, then the out. I'm going to go to Graph. We're going to plot as XY. And there we have a new plotted point on our graph. Notice what happens when we move our point A on the x-axis. Our plotted point moves all around. So now something we can do to get an idea of the features of our program here, we're going to highlight this plotted point. We're going to unhighlight point A here. And we're going to go to Display, Trace Plotted Point. Now we need to have point A highlighted, and we need to unhighlight our plotted point. Great. So now, as we move point A, our plotted point traces the shape of our function. And that makes a very familiar shape. It's a parabola. Alright, now that we have this cool parabola here, we're going to erase it. We'll go back up to Display, Erase Traces. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and plot this parabola. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go up to Graph, Plot New Function, going to be x minus 3 and we're going to raise it to the power of 2. Click OK. There we have it. Okay, so now we're just going to look at some different features here in Geometer Sketchpad and see how we can basically play around with this function. We're going to give it a parameter. Okay, so to do that we need to double click on the function and we're going to go to values, new parameter. We're going to name it h, and we're going to give it a value of 2 to start with here. Okay, and okay. Alright, so you'll notice a couple things happened. Our parabola changed a little bit, and because it's not highlighted anymore, and now here h is our parameter with a measurement of 2. Now we can change this value and watch it change here by highlighting, double click, and here it brings up our value again where we were just at. We can change it. Notice that makes it skinnier. We can change it again. Change it to 1. Makes it a little bit wider. Okay, and then the other thing we can do here, while this is highlighted, if we keep our arrow here on the H, we can use our plus and minus buttons on our keyboard to adjust the size of this parabola. So I'm going to use the plus button first, and on my computer I have to do Shift plus. And you notice the value's changing as the parabola is changing shape, or not changing shape, but it's just changing a parameter. Okay, now I'm going to hit my minus key. We're going to go back the other direction. It's going to get wider again. And we'll stop back at 2. And then another thing we can do here, this is a really cool feature. I like this. While the parameter is highlighted, we're going to go to Display, Animate Parameter. And notice it's moving. And we can change the speed. Move slower. We can make it move faster. We can change directions. That's kind of cool. Make it change directions again. And directions again. And we'll stop it here pretty soon. There we go. And now we're going to let it go back up. There we go. So that's kind of a neat function here, or feature I mean, here in Geometer Sketchpad. We're going to X out of that. And the last little feature we're going to explore with our function is called family of functions. We're going to highlight our parameter, highlight our parabola, then we'll go to construct, family of functions. And notice up here it shows us the number of samples. So we actually have 31 parabolas here. And so I'm gonna, this was set at minus 10, 10. We'll put it back there and we'll look at what we'll see what it looks like. That's kind of cool. We've got a reflection over the x-axis also. And we can undo this by going Edit, Undo. And notice the parameter and the parabola are still highlighted, so we can go back to construct family of functions again, and we can play around with it and basically just adjust these values and see what happens. So we have 31 here. Let's just do 10 and then see what it looks like when we do that. So there's just not quite as many. We can, now they're both highlighted still. So family of functions, and we'll leave it at, oh yeah, we'll leave it at 31. And notice you can change it to discrete or continuous. Discrete gives you little dotted lines. That's kind of cool, but so let's just change this to, say, 2. Let's see what happens. So we notice the parabola, the basic parabola in the middle got a little wider. It's kind of neat. And so now we've looked at a function f of x, x minus 3 squared. It shows us times h because this is our parameter right here. And we've done several cool little features in Sketchpad. And I hope you learned something new today. Thank you very much.